Welcome. I'm just going to do a nice, quick, off the cuff tour around my Obsidian vault. So, to give you some context, I've been an Agile coach since 2010. It's a role that involves a lot of learning. So, I read a lot, I look at articles online, I go to meetups, conferences, listen to podcasts, and I've amassed a lot of knowledge in lots of different areas. So, over the years, I've relied on my memory thinking back to, I know I read that thing and I remember where I read it, let's go find the information, to then being quite frustrated about forgetting where a particular information was from. And so I've tried various different note-taking methods over the years, so Evernote and OneNote, things like that. And things started getting a little bit more advanced when I became aware of digital Zettelkasten and the book that it was based on, which is creating smart notes. And then I started playing around with Obsidian about a year ago. And I've been logging in new information. I've been revisiting some of my key textbooks and inputting information. So I wanted something that wasn't really a linear note making method. I wanted something that connected different things together. And the animation that you can see is different nodes of information connecting bits here, there, and everywhere. So if I just quickly scroll over that, you can see book Agile Coaching by Rachel Davis and Liz Sedley, and you can see where it's linked to other things. So the green ones are tags, Agile Lean Practitioner. The blue one is a company I worked for, and I've sort of coded things to go alongside that. And so there's this amazing network of information that's built up in Obsidian. I love this graph, Lou, and it's amazing things you can do to play around with it. So changing how you want it to look. Anyway, I probably better move on because I could look at this animation and all these links going on all day. So let's have a quick look. So it's a wrapper built around folders. So you can set them up as you would on any Windows computer. I guess Mac as well. I just don't use Mac, so I will tend to use Windows terminology. And you can back that up using Google, using OneNote, whatever, so you can actually access it from different devices. But let's just have a look at some of the nuts and bolts. So I've set up this structure based on information from the digital Zettelkasten book. There's also bits here that relate back to Getting Things Done by David Allen. Let's have a dive in and have a look. So. Um, Fleeting notes are for when you are taking notes inside a meeting. So this is a meetup that I went to last night, and you can see I've put in the date, I put in that it's a meetup. This is just my own organization system, and it's about Kanban. So I've added a hashtag Kanban. If I click on that, I can see everything else that I have tagged with Kanban. Down the right-hand side, you will see quite a big list of all the different tags that I've used. And you can organize these alphabetically as I've done here, or you can organize them by how much they appear. So Agile Lean Practitioner has got 111 tags, so there's quite a lot going on there. I tend to put author and famous important people's names as tags as well, so I can see how much they pop up all over the place. And I've also got a tag here for meetups, so I can see the sort of meetups that I attended. So one of the great things about this is the amount of linking up that you can have. So as I'm at a meetup, I can take screenshots, I can put information in, all sorts of links. I love getting book recommendations. Of course, there's a cat there because why wouldn't there be? Anywhere, have I even got a book recommendation on here? Okay, well, so let's have a look. Let's say I want to link to a book, Kanban by David Anderson. Now, I've already got that in my vault because it's a very key text, and I can then link back to it. I haven't put the full details in yet, but excellent if you like detail, there you go. move backwards. So I'm not trying to give you a step-by-step on how to use this. It's literally just a tool. So these fleeting notes, I haven't gone through them all. I haven't linked them all. I haven't keyworded them all. They're just quick notes taken in the moment when I was actually attending a meetup and a talk. My inbox, I've got an ongoing section. So I'm revisiting the Kanban system design course. So I'm linking that in and putting all sorts of tags in there and links to books and all sorts of other things. I've also got to do. So there's some key texts in here, like for example, the KMP2 Kanban systems improvement. I'm going to be looking at that next. And then I've got some other stuff I want to be looking at. And someday maybe you can see I've set up my system to have article, book, course, and so I can organize what I want to be adding in here soon. A list of all different stuff that I've read that I would one day maybe like to have in Obsidian, but it's not happening just yet. Stubs are something that's been referred to quite a lot. So, for example, Clean Code by Bob Martin, that gets referred to quite a lot. I've not actually read it, so it's just sitting there. Literature notes. So, this is, let's say, look at the digital Zettelkasten. I'm not doing it quite purely because I'm not just keeping one idea per note. I'm keeping kind of one book, one article per note, and I've linked it to all sorts. I've got my diagram in here. Permanent notes is where you get an idea. So let's have a look. What is an Agile coach? So if I was to deliver some training about what is an Agile coach, I've got things linked back here which will have definitions and information that will just help me grab that information. I can go back and look at some of my resources if I want to. It's because I've been studying the subject for so long, I know what are the important things I need to know about, and yeah, so it allows me to add stuff in there. And oops. The templates are pretty useful. So if you start a new note, then I can just go to a template and add in just a simple note template, and I've already set it up that it will automatically tag in the time and the date, and I can add references. Gives me some consistency to what my notes look like. I've added in a bit about my career so I can relate some of these ideas back to my real world experience. The images is really just a dump of all of the pictures that get linked to around the site. It has to have them stored somewhere in order for it to all work and for it to call back to them. And likewise with Kindle Notes, it actually stores the notes, the highlighted notes from my Kindle, and the bottom is projects, ongoing things I want to do. So you've got all of these tags, everything's linked in together. I could say, right, why have I got Abraham Lincoln in there? Link back. He's mentioned in the book Drive by Daniel Pink. Why have I got Maslow in there? Because it's related to in rather a lot of different texts. There are other really cool features that you get with this. So canvases, you can create a mind map, change the colors. But what I also really like is that I can add a link to a file that is already inside my vault. And then from here, I can access that and do whatever I want with it. So all in all, I've been using the tool for nearly a year. I'm finding it incredibly useful. And I'm just loving gathering all the information together and finding different insight that comes from linking all the different notes together. And There's a lot more functionality that it does. There's all sorts of videos online. There's books that tell you how to use it. It's got a great help guide down here. Um, so yeah, I highly, highly recommend this. And there you go. That's my very, very quick introduction to Obsidian.